The Truth Unveiled, Ellen DeGeneres and the Art of Playing the Victim. Public figures often simplify their image to connect with audiences. For years, Ellen DeGeneres built hers around warmth, humor, and generosity, making "Be kind" her signature mantra. But over time, cracks appeared. Former employees described a toxic workplace behind The Ellen Show, while on-screen moments, like pressuring a pregnant guest to drink or teasing fans, raised doubts. Meanwhile, high-profile charity campaigns kept the kindness brand in the spotlight, even as skepticism grew. For 40 years, Ellen DeGeneres built an empire around being the epitome of warmth, humor, and authenticity. She became a household name, earned countless accolades, including the prestigious Presidential Medal of Freedom, and convinced the world she was as lovable as she appeared on screen. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. Slowly but surely, the facade began to crumble. And within less than a year, the empire she had spent decades building came crashing down. Even now, Ellen sees herself as the victim, famously quipping,
"Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business."
At 23, Ellen had no idea what direction her life was heading. She bounced between odd jobs, painting houses, working in factories, bartending, and even selling vacuum cleaners. But nothing sparked a sense of purpose. That all changed when she stumbled into stand-up comedy. For many comedians, comedy is a passion born from a deep need to process life's hardships. For Ellen, it was different. Comedy wasn't her calling. It was simply something she discovered she was good at, and that was enough. Ellen's pragmatic approach to comedy set her apart. She wasn't deeply attached to the art itself, which freed her to pursue every opportunity, no matter the sacrifices or compromises involved. For example, while some comedians might turn down roles they consider beneath them, Ellen didn't let those concerns hold her back. If it opened a door, she walked through it. This mindset proved to be the perfect strategy for climbing the comedy ladder. In the 1980s, Ellen began performing stand-up in New Orleans and got her big break in 1982 when she won Showtime's Funniest Person in America contest. Suddenly, she was performing across the country, gaining momentum in an industry where breaking through, especially as a woman, was no small feat. Comment yes if you believe stand-up comedy was Ellen's true calling. In 1986, Ellen reached a critical milestone, a set on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. This rite of passage was career-defining for comedians, and Ellen nailed it with her indifferent, almost effortless humor. Jokes like, "That whole fitness thing runs in my family. My grandmother started walking 5 miles a day when she was 60. She's 97 today, and we don't know where the hell she is," showcased her ability to deliver light, relatable material with a nonchalant charm. Ellen DeGeneres' career trajectory is as captivating as it is turbulent. In the early 90s, her charm landed her recurring roles on sitcoms like Open House and Laurel Hill, though neither left a lasting mark. Her breakthrough came in 1992 with an HBO special, One Night Stand, where her quirky humor and unique delivery won over audiences. Ellen's style wasn't dependent on shock value or controversy. Instead, she leaned into an offbeat, confident approach that made her relatable and respected by peers and fans alike. Still, in the comedy landscape of the 90s, stand-up alone rarely offered longevity or substantial financial reward. Many comedians transitioned into TV, and Ellen followed suit. In 1994, she got her big break with her self-titled sitcom, Ellen. The show, centered around a neurotic bookstore owner navigating life in Los Angeles, was a hit. But it was her personal life that turned it into a cultural phenomenon. By 1996, Ellen was ready to make history. In secret negotiations with ABC and Disney, she planned a groundbreaking moment where her character, Ellen Morgan, would come out as gay in an episode dubbed the Puppy episode. As news leaked, a media frenzy ensued, with speculation about Ellen's real-life sexuality. The buildup was massive, with support from LGBTQ groups like GLAAD and cameos from A-list celebrities. Oprah Winfrey played Ellen's therapist in the episode, a deliberate choice to lend credibility and seriousness to the moment. But it wasn't all a celebration. Bomb threats targeted the production, and the studio received hate-filled messages. Despite the backlash, Ellen stood firm. Days before the episode aired, she graced the cover of Time magazine, coming out publicly with the headline, "Yep, I'm gay." When the puppy episode aired on April 30th, 1997, it was a watershed moment for television. Ellen became the first lead character in an American sitcom to come out as gay. The episode drew 42 million viewers, making it the highest-rated show on the network that year. Ellen followed it with a sit-down interview with Oprah, candidly discussing her journey. "I know what it feels like to try to blend in so people won't hurt you," she said. "This was not something I was going to be ashamed of anymore." Despite its success, the episode sparked controversy. Advertisers like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Chrysler pulled their support, and ratings for Ellen began to drop. In 1998, ABC canceled the show, with Entertainment Weekly cruelly dubbing her too gay. Ellen's public relationship with actress Anne Heche further fueled media attention, but it didn't help her career. Heche, who was a rising star in the late 90s, claimed years later that her relationship with Ellen led to isolation and a decline in her professional opportunities. Their breakup in 2000 was messy and public, with Heche's erratic behavior and hospitalization dominating headlines. However, Ellen's humor began to shift. What was once sharp and self-deprecating turned into broader societal metaphors, leading some critics to note her reliance on clapter, applause for making a good point, even if it wasn't particularly funny. Her 2001 sitcom, The Ellen Show, was canceled after one season due to low ratings. Ellen's big break came in 2003 when she voiced Dory in Pixar's Finding Nemo. The film grossed $871 million globally and revitalized her career. That same year, she launched her third stand-up special, Here and Now, which showcased her signature quirky, family-friendly humor. In September 2003, The Ellen DeGeneres Show debuted, redefining daytime television. Ellen's upbeat energy, playful spontaneity, and safe space for celebrities quickly won over audiences. Her dance-filled intros and quirky charm became her trademarks, earning her 33 Daytime Emmy Awards and a peak daily viewership of 2.4 million. By 2007, she was hosting the Academy Awards, with Oprah praising her as someone who radiated peace and purpose. But cracks in her image began to form during the Writers Guild of America strike that same year. While many hosts like Conan O'Brien and Jon Stewart paused their shows in solidarity with the strikers, Ellen continued taping. She justified her decision by saying, "I love my writers, but people have traveled across the country to see the show. I want to make their trip enjoyable." Critics saw her choice as undermining the strike, despite her public support for her writers. Leave a star emoji if Ellen's stand-up comedy was your first introduction to her career. Reports of Ellen's off-screen demeanor started circulating as early as 2007. A writer from her sitcom recalled her switching from charming and charismatic during rehearsals to sharp and critical when the cameras stopped. One particularly damning story involved Ellen using a writer's jokes in her stand-up act and book, only to renege on a job promise later. At the time, these allegations didn't stick. Ellen's public image as the kind, dancing, and generous daytime host was too strong to tarnish. For the next decade, she dominated the entertainment industry, seemingly untouchable. By 2011, The Ellen DeGeneres Show had become a mainstay of daytime television, poised to fill the void left by The Oprah Winfrey Show. Ellen wasn't Oprah. Her focus was more entertainment and less on deep social issues. But she carved out her niche with viral YouTube moments and feel-good stories. Clips of celebrity interviews, musical performances, and surprise giveaways helped her amass over 23 billion views on YouTube. If someone went viral In the 2010s, they would likely end up on Ellen's couch within a week, ready to receive a thoughtful gift or sponsorship surprise. Ellen's generosity became a defining feature of her brand. Memorable moments like gifting Lifetime Vans, sneakers to the Damn Daniel kids, or surprising a viral college student with a computer, despite an awkward misunderstanding about tuition, reinforced her "be kind" persona. These contributions often came with corporate sponsorships. Companies like Shutterfly and Walmart routinely funded these gestures as part of branded campaigns. While some criticized the transactional nature of this charity, Ellen's extensive philanthropic efforts were undeniable, from scholarships for hurricane survivors to anti-bullying initiatives and wildlife conservation campaigns. By 2019, Ellen's 15-year reign as a daytime talk show queen was under scrutiny. The seeds of her fall from grace had been planted long before, but the first public blow came with her Netflix stand-up special, Relatable. In a New York Times profile promoting the special, Ellen quipped about her burden to uphold the "be kind" mantra, joking that she couldn't even honk her car horn without risking criticism. But it was her wife, Portia de Rossi, who sparked curiosity with her offhand remark during the interview. "Just remember, the nicer they are, the more they're going to screw you." The sentiment hinted at a disconnect between Ellen's public image and private reality, a gap that widened further during an infamous 2019 interview with actress Dakota Johnson. In a now viral exchange, Ellen accused Dakota of not inviting her to her 30th birthday party. Dakota, unfazed, pushed back. "Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited." The awkward confrontation was uncomfortable to watch, and audiences began to question Ellen's charm. Was it genuine or a carefully crafted performance? As the Dakota Johnson clip spread, other questionable interviews from Ellen's archives began resurfacing. In a 2013 interview, Ellen pushed Taylor Swift to discuss her love life, to the point where Taylor begged her to stop, saying, "This makes me feel so bad about myself." In an even more uncomfortable moment, Ellen pressured Mariah Carey to confirm pregnancy rumors during a 2008 interview. When Mariah declined to comment, Ellen brought out champagne to force the issue. "If you're not pregnant, let's toast to it." Mariah, clearly cornered, pretended to sip the champagne, essentially confirming her pregnancy. Tragically, weeks later, Mariah revealed she had suffered a miscarriage. Reflecting on the incident, Mariah admitted, "I wasn't ready to tell anyone because I had a miscarriage. I didn't enjoy that moment." These moments painted a stark contrast to Ellen's public image, sparking debates online and in the media. Was Ellen the kind-hearted host she portrayed herself to be, or was there more to her behind the scenes? While Ellen's interviews raised questions, the real revelations came from her workplace. In interviews, Ellen often described a happy and grateful work environment, but anonymous complaints about a toxic culture began surfacing. Former employees alleged that Ellen wasn't as kind as she appeared, with reports of micromanagement, dismissiveness, and even exploitative practices. For years, these stories were whispered but dismissed. Ellen was simply too beloved, her persona too ingrained in the public consciousness to face serious criticism. But by 2020, the accumulation of these moments and the growing power of social media to amplify such narratives would bring the cracks in Ellen's empire fully into view. By 2011, Ellen DeGeneres was poised to become the undisputed queen of daytime television following Oprah Winfrey's departure. Her show was a juggernaut with viral moments, celebrity interviews, and heartwarming giveaways, fueling her rise. But the image of Ellen as America's kind-hearted host was built on a foundation that would eventually crumble under the weight of allegations, missteps, and revelations. Ellen's on-screen persona began to clash with a growing narrative of off-screen insensitivity. A turning point came in 2019, when awkward interviews like her passive-aggressive exchange with Dakota Johnson and her pressuring of Taylor Swift and Mariah Carey resurfaced, sparking criticism. While these moments initially seemed like harmless TV antics, they took on a darker tone as new allegations emerged. Comedian Kevin T. Porter ignited further scrutiny with a viral Twitter thread accusing Ellen of being one of the meanest people alive. It was filled with anecdotes ranging from Ellen's dismissive treatment of fans to stories of uncomfortable situations on her show. While some claims were unverified, they added fuel to the growing public skepticism about her be kind persona. In 2020, BuzzFeed News published an expose detailing a toxic work environment at the Ellen DeGeneres show. Interviews with former employees described a culture dominated by fear and intimidation. Allegations included racist remarks, microaggressions, and dismissive treatment by senior producers. A black employee recalled being told by a producer, "Oh wow, you both have box braids. I hope we don't get you confused." Another former staffer described being told, "I'm sorry, I only know the names of the white people who work here." Employees allege that speaking up led to retaliation, isolation, or dismissal. One staffer said, "If you have an issue, don't even think about bringing it up." Meanwhile, producers like Ed Glavin were accused of inappropriate behavior, including unwelcome touching and creating a hostile environment. BuzzFeed's follow-up report revealed allegations of sexual misconduct against head writer Kevin Lehman, including unwanted advances and explicit comments. Employees said the toxic culture wasn't a secret, and Ellen's complicity, whether active or passive, was hard to ignore. She knew what was happening, one employee claimed. As the controversy exploded, Ellen's public response drew mixed reactions. In a letter to her staff, she claimed responsibility for the show's environment, but placed much of the blame on others. "I've not been able to stay on top of everything and relied on others to do their jobs as they knew I'd want them done." Clearly, some didn't. This defensive tone, paired with her later on-air apology during the season 18 premiere, failed to win over critics. In the apology, Ellen said, "I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously. I am also a lot of other things. I sometimes get sad. I get mad. I get anxious. I get frustrated. I get impatient. And I am working on all of that." Many felt her apology was more about repairing her image than addressing the deeper issues. By 2021, Ellen announced that her show would end after its 19th season. She framed the decision as creative, but plummeting ratings down by 40%, and the lingering controversy told a different story. In her announcement, Ellen suggested sexism played a role in her downfall, saying, "It did feel very misogynistic. I had a very successful show, and all of a sudden, all at once, something happened." Ellen's downfall wasn't the result of one moment, but an accumulation of missteps, allegations, and changing public sentiment. For years, her "be kind" mantra resonated with audiences and built an empire, but the disconnect between her on-screen and off-screen behavior ultimately shattered her carefully crafted image. Drop a broken heart emoji if you once admired Ellen but felt disappointed by the controversy. Ellen's legacy is complicated. A groundbreaking comedian who championed LGBTQ+ rights and performed countless charitable acts, yet whose personal and professional choices left a trail of disillusionment. While her influence on entertainment is undeniable, her story serves as a cautionary tale about the risks of building a brand on an image that's difficult or impossible to live up to. Ellen DeGeneres' brand was built on two pillars: kindness and altruism. These traits made her dependable and relatable, allowing her to craft a persona that resonated with millions. Over the course of the Ellen DeGeneres Show's 3,000+ episodes, the formula never wavered: positivity, heartfelt moments, and feel-good surprises. This consistency became her strength, but also her downfall. The backlash against Ellen wasn't merely about discovering she could be unkind behind the scenes. It was the stark contradiction between her on-screen values and the allegations from those who worked for her. Her show celebrated humanity, empathy, and generosity, yet employees accused the workplace of being toxic, neglectful, and even abusive. For her detractors, this disconnect proved that her entire persona was a facade. Still, others argue the allegations may have been overblown. The accused producers were fired, Ellen initiated changes, and in a high-pressure TV environment, stress and conflict are inevitable. And even if her kindness was performative, her contributions, donations, scholarships, and advocacy created tangible benefits for countless people. Since the Ellen DeGeneres show ended, Ellen has largely stayed out of the spotlight. But tomorrow, September 24th, she's returning with her Netflix comedy special, For Your Approval. The title alone feels pointed, as if it's a subtle jab at her critics. When announcing the special, she teased, "To answer the questions everyone is asking me, yes, I'm going to talk about it." In one clip, Ellen quips, "Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. The Be Kind girl wasn't kind." That was the headline. Here's the problem. I'm a comedian who got a talk show, and I ended the show every day by saying, "Be kind to one another." Had I ended my show by saying, "Go yourselves"? It's unclear if this special will mark her graceful farewell to the entertainment industry or an attempt to reframe herself as a victim of cancel culture. What's certain is that For Your Approval will likely reignite debates about Ellen's legacy, whether she's a fallen hero who deserved her downfall or a scapegoat of modern outrage culture. One thing is clear. The once unshakable empire of Ellen DeGeneres will forever serve as a lesson in the complexities of fame, perception, and authenticity. Thank you for watching our channel. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. See you next time, and have a great day.